Destiny, what are we discussing today?
The news. We're not big news watchers, but we're trying to be more
informed,
more worldly, more. I'm not gonna say opinionated because we know plenty of that ahead of time. But
what's one of the biggest stories right now?
Well, I would say everyone's talking about TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok.
Is there going to be a TikTok in a few days? Is there not going to be a TikTok in a few days?
We're new to posting content on TikTok.
We dipped our toes in the TikTok pool and we're hoping it doesn't dry up.
Yeah, so we kind of came late to the train and now the train is blowing up. So it's
we're hoping the station's
is there a new train?
Is
our cart safe? We're in the back of the cart.
That's the title of our show today, friends.
Blowing up the train? What's the title?
Is there a new train coming?
We figured we'll watch this one clip that I found about giving some more detailed info on
up-to-date news stuff that they talked about today. Yeah. So, brand new information for all of us.
So, let's see what's going on.
The nation's highest court tonight on the brink of deciding whether
to uphold the
controversial ban of TikTok in the U.S., a ban already approved by Congress and signed into law by President Biden. TikTok arguing a ban would violate free speech.
There is a compelling First Amendment issue here, which is that this involves the access to information on behalf of tens of millions of Americans.
Specifically, more than 170 million Americans who use TikTok, according to the platform. More than half the U.S. population. But tonight, it appears a majority.
Did you realize that?
That
half the U.S. population uses TikTok. That's crazy.
That's a ton.
That's crazy.
It is.
But, I mean, that makes sense. I know people from, at work that are younger, and then I have another, one of my managers, her husband watches, cat, dog, all animal, type videos on TikTok. So, TikTok has, a broad range of
and everything,
different stuff,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, everything from political views, pop culture, selling things, advertising. It's a huge conglomerate of things that you're capable of utilizing TikTok for. But I didn't know half of America. That's
kind of
so now
crazy.
My question, and maybe they'll answer it, is out of the half of Americans that utilize TikTok, how many are making money off of it?
That's a good question.
Because that's income in our country.
Yeah. Tax money.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
The Supreme Court is likely to uphold the TikTok ban. Some, including Chief Justice John Roberts, countering TikTok's lawyers' free speech argument.
It seems to me that you're ignoring the major concern here of Congress, which was Chinese manipulation of the content and acquisition and harvesting of the content.
Okay.
TikTok is owned by a
What manipulation are they doing? What is the big fear of manipulation here?
Well, there's no way to know, I guess, if there is manipulating going on. But because America isn't 100% the owners of TikTok, it's we can't have just information just going to our enemies, or spies.
But
because we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Twitter X, that they have our information. They they buy and sell our information all the time, but that's within the U.S. They don't want other countries to have access.
Right. So that part is the national security part is people's credit card information, social security, that kind of thing, right? Okay, that's something. That's a conversation. But the manipulation of the content is my question. Why are we scared of that? There can't be.
Well, we don't want to be brainwashed into becoming
So, for instance, we upload a video to our TikTok. We know if somebody manipulates that content because we can go back and see it. There's no manipulation of our content.
I think it's, well, yeah, but I think it's saying like, I don't know, other creators, AI creators, I guess, maybe. That's what I'm getting out of it.
I feel like you can do that.
Brainwashing the mass.
I feel like you can do that anywhere else.
You can do that anywhere else, but America is very much like, I have like a younger sister or bigger sister. I can hit her, but you can't.
Fair enough.
You can't.
Fair enough.
I can bully her. You can't bully her. It's kind of like that situation. Like, no.
Okay.
You can't be mean.
Okay, don't pick on my baby sister, my big sister.
I don't know where that came from.
Chinese company with U.S. officials worry could be beholden to the communist government in Beijing and could conceivably help the Chinese regime spy on Americans.
That the Chinese government could demand data from TikTok and that it is covertly manipulating content that Americans receive.
TikTok denies that, saying it safeguards users' privacy. President-elect Trump initially supported a ban on TikTok in the U.S., then reversed course and is now seeking to pause the ban. We love TikTok.
Now, what do you feel about that? Trump trying to be like,
I feel like Trump spearheaded all of this.
Hey everyone, TikTok is safe. Don't worry.
I feel like he's
Give it to my buddy Elon Musk, and we'll take it from here.
he started this situation that we are currently in, and now he's like, whoa, wasn't me. No, I know. I watched TikTok manipulation of my content. Right. I watched a TikTok yesterday. They were saying that that particular content creator's idea of the situation was that Trump wants an American buyer for TikTok, so that we still have control over it, right? Which I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, they're literally trying like, but they're like, no, we're not selling it to you, Elon.
Well, and even like another spin on that, just because they sell the name, the platform doesn't mean they sell the algorithm, doesn't mean it's gonna be the same TikTok that we are on now.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Like no, it's like we're not selling any like parts separately. Yeah. That's not how it works.
And the only reason he's on board now is because he got votes.
Well, let's continue.
A ban in the U.S. would have an enormous cultural impact, analysts say, because contrary to some perceptions, it's not just a platform for goofy stunts and dance videos.
Now you can get educational videos, get news reports, many major organizations, as well as politicians, including President Biden, taken to the app.
And the impact on American businesses of a TikTok ban in the U.S. could be staggering.
By TikTok's own estimate, there are 7 million U.S. small businesses who could stand to lose $1 billion in revenue.
Damn, 7. Did they say 7?
7 million.
7 million? That's crazy.
And $1 billion in revenue.
And then billions of lost wages.
Why? Oh.
That's a lot of money. No one wants to lose all that money.
No.
Seals clothing boutique in Charlotte.
I get 80% of my business from TikTok. I know it would cripple me and I would be devastated.
The TikTok ban in the U.S. could take effect on January 19th unless TikTok is sold to other owners. Once a ban takes effect, experts say, if you buy a new phone, you won't be able to download TikTok. If you already have it on your phone,
If you already have the app on your phone, it's not just going to disappear, but you'll no longer be able to update it, which means that eventually it would become buggy, it might have security vulnerabilities, and eventually it would become unusable.
if TikTok is taken off the U.S. market, who stands to benefit? Where would TikTok users go?
Yeah.
Where are we going?
Snapchat and YouTube would likely pick up a lot of that business because they already offer short-form video feeds similar to TikTok on their platform.
Yeah, I've been hearing that like a lot. That okay, like Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk have like basically led the way to TikTok getting banned because they benefit from TikTok not being existing anymore.
Right.
So that's kind of shady, I think.
Well, and I watched a TikToker yesterday that said, don't do that. Right. If they ban TikTok, don't go to Meta or X or those. Why would you give money to someone that made it impossible for you to make money or ended your career, essentially?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Sorry, guys. Like, there's plenty of fish in the sea. Okay? There's plenty of room, financially speaking, just the financial piece of it. There's plenty of money for all of these people to make money. TikTok can make money. X can make money. Meta can make money. We don't need to be greedy. Like, there's a market for everybody. Lots of people use Instagram Reels. Lots of people use
money.
Don't bite the hand that feeds you, right? Like, if you are going to take away someone's bread and butter, why would they come to you?
Yeah, very true. But I think they're planning on people being desperate enough. So,
but that's when desperation breeds other things.
Sharks.
That too.
Time may be running out for the popular and widespread app.
The fate of the app now depends on the U.S. Supreme Court. It's a big deal.
This loud enough?
In fact, 17% of TikTok users in the world are in the U.S.
I want to anchor Mike Marsa with the latest on the effort to ban TikTok from the U.S. Mike.
TikTok.
Well, and Sandra, no doubt about it, this is a big deal. And if this ban is upheld, it may look familiar to China. Chinese company ByteDance owns TikTok, but even in China, TikTok is banned. Almost all U.S. social media companies.
Did you know that?
I did not
Did you
know that.
They don't have TikTok in China because it is banned.
Is
But
because
China
there's
banned a lot of.
because there's too many Americans on it. Like what? I'm so
No,
curious.
China is just really restrictive.
Oh,
I don't think they have. They probably don't have Facebook. They don't have.
For them.
Yeah, like I haven't read up about what
Incredible.
social media platforms China has, but I doubt they have very many, unless they're like super pro China.
That's way too.
TikTok is way too liberal for China.
Interesting. That's so interesting.
So it's it's very interesting, right? Like okay, but you're afraid they might take our data and like use it when they don't want any association with TikTok in their country.
So intriguing.
The plot thickens.
Companies, at least the big ones, are not allowed in China. And right now, it sounds like the Supreme Court appears to be headed toward allowing a TikTok ban right here in the U.S. Since it launched in 2016, TikTok has exploded.
2016. That's not even that old.
8 years.
Did you realize that?
8 years.
2016.
I knew it was relatively young, but does that include? Because it started as a different company, correct? Is my knowledge accurate? It started as what was it called? Musically.
It's a music like platform.
So it was.
I didn't know that.
I could be wrong. Fact check
She could
me.
be, 'cause I don't
Fact
know.
check me. But I believe it started as Musically. And basically it was just like a lip sync. Words are hard.
Oh, lip sync. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yes. And
Let's go back to that.
and that's how it started. And then it it evolved over time.
grew.
And I don't know if there was a change of hands. I'm not really sure why they changed the name. Maybe because it was no longer solely
About music.
lip syncing videos.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like a lot of newer artists have like got their start, dipped their toe into like TikTok, posting music on TikTok. So yeah, it makes sense that it started from music.
So I'm curious if that's accurate. Is the 2016 when it became TikTok or when it started as Musically?
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to like
Dig in.
Dig that up. Somebody let us know if you know.
Company boasting 1 billion users around the world. You have to make these chopped Italian sandwiches, and an estimated 170 million in the United States.
He's over here on the Cyber Monday deals I'm low-key looking at.
But in 9 days, TikTok's time operating in this country could run out. Today, for more than 2 hours, the nation's highest court heard arguments whether or not to uphold the bipartisan ban Congress passed.
It's sad. It's really, really sad.
The case pitting 2 major issues against each other: national security and freedom of speech.
Hey there, I'm Nadia.
Caught in the middle, some 7 million businesses who make money off TikTok.
If TikTok were to go away, we would be facing a really, really challenging situation.
TikTok's owner, ByteDance, a company in China, must divest by January 19th, or the app will be shut down in the U.S.
So are we supposed to ignore the fact that the ultimate parent is in fact subject to doing intelligence work for the Chinese government?
Critics accused ByteDance of turning over users' private information to China.
Is that not a realistic assessment by Congress and the President of the risks here?
Well, Your Honor, I'm not disputing the risks. I certainly acknowledge the risks, but I think there are lots of reasons, not just the one I just gave, but there are lots of reasons why that risk still can't justify the law.
ByteDance denies the allegations and still refuses to sell.
We thought that the argument
Yeah, they shouldn't have to sell.
extremely engaged.
As it stands right now, the U.S. ban is set to take effect 1 day before President-elect Trump takes office.
I just think that's funny. It's like 1 day before President Trump takes office. Like, nope.
Was that the plan a year ago when it was signed into effect?
I think that's very like interesting timing.
But when it was signed into effect last year, was Trump still pro-ban?
No, I think he was anti, right? Well, actually, I don't know. A year ago.
A year ago.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Who knows where? I don't even know where Trump was. He was fighting lawsuits a year ago.
Good point. Who knows if he cared at that point? Who knows?
Ban and now vows to save the social media app, but it is still unclear how. If the ban does go into effect, app stores would not be allowed to offer it, and if they do, they would face fines. Sandra?
Dang. Technically, the
Interesting.
TikTok you know and love will, I guess, likely be banned in just 9 days. Because today, the famously technology-averse U.S. Supreme Court appeared ready to uphold the federal ban, which means that on January 19th, TikTok will quickly disappear from app stores. Or tech giants such as Apple and Google would face astronomical fines. If TikTok is already on your phone, you will stop receiving updates and the user experience will likely degrade significantly over time. TikTok, the app with about 170 million users in the United States, argues that free speech outweighs, quote, speculative fears about the app collecting data on Americans. While the U.S. Justice Department says the app is a, quote, grave threat to U.S. national security.
A grave
and
threat.
that it could use it to, quote, covertly manipulate Americans. All of this is not sitting well with people who make a living on TikTok.
Unfortunately for most creators, you can't post the same stuff on Instagram that you do on TikTok. It just ain't gonna work. One, the algorithm over there is trash. Horrible. What do you think?
Joining us now to discuss Washington Post senior video reporter Dave.
Now, I don't think we really know about like other like the Instagrams and what Facebook has the Facebook Reels or stories.
Right. Facebook has Reels. Instagram also has Reels. YouTube obviously has Shorts. The way that I understand YouTube Shorts, though, they're 60 seconds or less. Where TikToks can be 15 seconds, 60 seconds, 3 minutes, 10 minutes.
Okay.
And I have no idea about Reels. I don't think that they're 10 minutes. I think you can maybe have a 3 minute. I'm not positive. And then coming out of this, the only thing that I know is I since this has been heavy newsworthy, there's lots of ads for an upcoming app. Which I don't know, do you want to advertise? Neptune.
Neptune.
which
Okay.
sounds very like it's gonna be very similar.
Is this made by Pharrell?
I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know. So yeah, I don't. Is there anything out there that is a carbon copy of the platform that TikTok is? No, I don't think so.
No.
There's Lemon 8. Have you ever heard of that?
Lemon 8. No.
I have never heard of that than the like 2 days ago, and I got
platforms I never heard of.
I got. They must be friends with TikTok. It must be like an overlapping.
What is it called again?
Lemon 8. Lemon like
Lemon 8.
8.
Not aid.
8. Like the number 8. Because I got a follow request, a TikTok follow request via Lemon 8 the other day, and I'm like, what does this mean?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Jorgensen and Washington Post technology reporter Drew Harwell. Dave, you're better known, perhaps, as the Washington Post TikTok guy. Let's play just a teeny sample of your work for our viewers.
I don't know. So we talk about this coming Friday, January 10th. Why? What's happening? The Supreme Court is hearing arguments on the TikTok ban. Just ask the Supreme Court to put a pause on the ban until I get to office. Tell them we want to make a negotiated resolution with TikTok. Okay, John, what's with all the paper airplanes? Is that really how we send messages? It's a creative storytelling visual, like your chronically long time with a Scotch tape.
TikTok estimates that around 2 million creators or influencers will suffer at least $300 million in lost earnings.
I told you we need to do more skits.
$300 million loss.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
That's some cash.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, for sure.
And does the gentleman we played that clip of who says that the algorithm at other social media sites like Instagram is garbage?
Garbage.
Does he have a point?
Well, I think that depends on your perspective, Jake. Thanks for having me on to talk about this. We repost all of our videos to both Instagram Reels and Shorts to varying levels of success. We've seen a lot of videos do really well on YouTube Shorts, so I think we'll see a lot of creators start to kind of move that way. Not unlike Vine, when it sort of was canceled, when it was locked down just a few years ago. Pretty much people started to navigate to YouTube, and then a couple years later, TikTok was born. So everyone is kind of trying to figure out where to go next.
Where do we go? We're scattering like ants that our anthill has been invaded.
Yeah.
A lot more platforms with vertical videos. So there are places to go, but whether or not they're the same culturally or the same algorithm is kind of up in the air.
Yeah, but the law of unintended consequences when they killed Vines, that charming young man who made those funny vines, Jake Paul, became what we have now. Drew,
that was shade.
Dang! Woo! Who was this guy's name? Holy cow! Wow.
He said that with such a straight face though. Where did that come from?
Wow. Okay.
That seemed very personal. You're like,
that
you used to be a good old boy, now you're rotten to the core.
And that actually came up in the Supreme Court discussion today. There's secret evidence, there's redacted claims in the legal filings, and there's lots of, suspicion, fears, dread about China. But in terms of ways that China actually access people's data, ways that they, skew the algorithm to blast, communist propaganda to American teens, there's just no evidence showing that. And TikTok really has seized on that to say you're suppressing a speech platform in a country with the First Amendment based off of, future fears down the road. But the Justice Department has said, this is something we want to take this seriously with a lot of people. And, there are ways that, in 5 or 10 years where we may be regretting that we didn't take action sooner.
Are the tech savvier users talking about workarounds such as a VPN to circumvent the ban, which is basically just a shorthand for our viewers. You basically go outside the country and go back in through a different access route where the ban wouldn't be applied.
Yeah, your computer basically pretends that it's not in America, it's in some other country. Yeah, it's really interesting because you see a lot of young people on TikTok sharing guides on how to use these tools so they can,
to invest in VPN.
Without updates, without any way for people to download it, and the kind of cultural relevance that sort of made it so key is going to fade as more people kind of move on to these other tools. So it is, even if people can hack their way around and use this app, it'll still really kind of get undermined by it ends up passing.
Dave, Trump famously went from anti-TikTok to pro-TikTok. Can he just ignore the ruling once he becomes president?
A lot of our reporting has said, and we actually made a TikTok about this today, explaining, hey, what's going to happen to your phone on January 19th. And the reporting on that is that, Trump would not be able to, after the fact, he would have to go back to Congress and try to get them to repeal the law. So as far as we know, no, that doesn't seem possible.
So it cannot be resolved after the fact. It has to be before the 19th, which is ticking down very fast.
Very quick. Yeah, very quick.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I think that was interesting, like using VPNs to
bypass them.
Go past. But at that point, you probably have less people, because not a lot of people know how to use VPNs.
Right.
So you might as well make your content center around China, China or other countries that have TikTok.
I would just assume, okay, if this is, it's a China-based company that doesn't utilize it in China, so they're making all of their money off Americans, ish, right? A decent chunk of their money they're making off Americans. So if it's banned in America, how long is it going to be before they throw in the towel? Before they're like, this isn't as financially...
I don't know. Like, do they just downsize? Do they go back to their roots, maybe?
Maybe.
Because, there's other countries, too, that use TikTok.
Right.
So they might have to cater to the next biggest
whoever the
group.
next is. Yeah.
But like you mentioned, they're there's a few other type of apps and platforms that are up and coming. One that I just recently heard about, Red Note, which is literally, sorry, I'm moving the camera, literally a Chinese company, 100%, versus TikTok that is not 100% Chinese. So I have another little video just for us to check out.
With a deadline to ban TikTok just days away, Chinese officials now reportedly considering selling the app's U.S. operations to Elon Musk, but with users already...
Did you hear? did you hear about that, Elon Musk? I feel like at this point it's kind of, if they were going to sell it, they would have sold it.
I would think so.
Yeah, it's like, unless it's already being like negotiated,
right?
Which
it's behind closed doors already.
But do we want Elon Musk to have another platform? Like, I'm just gonna be honest. I'd rather China. China, you can have my all my info than Elon Musk. That's way scarier.
I watched a TikToker today. I don't remember. That was basically like, you can have all of my data. I will suck on a tampon and mail it to you. You can have my DNA. Like, that's how much I'm not giving it to
Elon Musk?
Yes. Yes.
Yikes.
Yep.
Played other apps as Congress's attempt to limit Chinese influence on social media backfired. Drew DeVos is watching that today in today's Tech Check. Hey, Dee.
Hey, Carl. So there's an app that our audience should know now. It's called Red Note. And as of this morning, it is still #1 on Apple's App Store, highlighting really the...
#1 already on Apple is Red Note. That's hilarious.
I will say I did.
You're gonna download. You already downloaded it. your little Chinese spy.
I already did. And I followed a couple of people because,
God.
Yeah. Oh, there's lemonade right there.
Oh yeah, number 2. That's so funny. All like these other it's like blood in the water.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
They're circling around.
when there's that many dollar signs attached to it, though, come on. Like,
Yeah.
you'd be dumb not to.
Yeah, should like have we been working on our streaming platform?
That was a great idea. I don't know how to do that, but we'll figure it out.
Her dilemma. As lawmakers are looking to regulate or ban what they see as the current threat, users have already moved on. And in this case, they moved on to an app far more Chinese than TikTok. It's known for its Chinese name, Xiaohongshu, literally translates into Little Red Book, as in Mao Zedong's Guide to Communist Ideology and Revolutionary Principles, a symbol for Chinese communist propaganda. This is the app.
Yeah.
Open it up, and it looks like
It's very
Instagram
similar.
meets TikTok meets Reddit, but with a lot more Chinese language content, and very welcoming, by the way, to American users. Here's a scroll through Tech Check producer Jasmine's Red Note feed this morning.
Yeah, they're like, come on.
Refugee. First of all, I want to say welcome to Xiaohongshu, welcome to Red Book.
You'll see a few more.
I was gonna say konnichiwa, but then I was like, wrong. No, that's Japanese.
Oh, boy.
My bad.
Oh, boy.
They don't want us to talk about politics because they're not allowed to talk about politics. Now, in other words, as a Chinese app, it is heavily censored. TikTok, at least, was the
Interesting.
American version of a Chinese app with more American rules. Red Note had few international users until about a few months ago. According to PitchBook, it was last valued at $17 billion and backed by Chinese internet giants Alibaba.
Damn. Valued at $17 billion? That's a lot. Okay. I see you, Red Note.
And Tencent, as well as Silicon Valley VCs, DST, and Notable Capital, which was spun out of GGV amid growing U.S.-China tensions. Now, Tencent, which has been an investor in Red Note since 2016, was just last week added to the U.S. Defense Department's list of companies allegedly working with China's military. This is something
Imagine. Just last week.
ByteDance's cap table by contrast. It does not include Tencent, and it does include many more American firms, suggesting that TikTok, despite all of its controversies, operates with greater transparency and alignment to Western norms compared to Red Note. It is the paradoxically safer bet.
Yeah, I can't say that word either. Sorry.
Traction here. I spoke to a ByteDance investor this morning based in China. He's been watching the rush of these TikTok refugees to Red Note and also what he calls new momentum for Meta. So he is hopeful that a potential.
Can we make the same face?
That's funny.
Users rushing to Red Note, guys, they're doing so in a kind of defiance. They want to show that they like Chinese apps, despite lawmakers trying to ban it and concerned about it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're creating, I feel like, yeah, you're creating a bigger monster.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Like, you're having, like, all these American content creators running to China with open arms.
Take our data.
Adapt us. Adapt us? But adapt both.
All of it. Yeah,
Both.
all of it. I don't know. I feel like we're rebellious teenagers. You're saying you can't do this, and we're like climbing out the bedroom window. Like we're not.
It's like you can't go out with the guy with the motorcycle. I'm like, okay, I'll go out with the guy. I'm
gonna date the whole biker gang.
Exactly.
All of them at once.
I'm gonna go out with the guy that owns a motorcycle store / tattoo parlor.
Yeah, all of it.
You can get piercings.
All of it. Yeah.
3D guns, maybe too.
Yeah, that took a turn.
Too far.
That took a turn.
It's China. It's China.
Yeah. No, I don't. We don't have the answers. We don't know what's going to happen, but we're certainly here to watch the show and
try to stay up to date on. Like, clearly you beat me, Red Notice girl. Red Notes. That's our notice. Red Note girl.
Well, I had to have our foot in the door in case we needed it to be.
Yeah.
I'm here for us, right? Like,
stay vigilant, my friends.
That's right. All right. If you guys have any ideas, give us your thoughts, your feelings, whatever. Let us know where you're at on the subject.
Yeah. Until the next update.
That's right.